What is up, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So I want to break down 12 stocks to buy now in the stock market in February of 2021 in this video. And on top of that, I also want to do a quick refresher on what happened last week in the markets, breaking down some technicals here on the S&P 500. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. If you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to go down below, join the StrapSmart Discord chat, the Facebook group, get 2 stocks from WeBull valued up to $1,600 and $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below. Same with the Patreon. If you all want to support me a bit further, the channel a bit further, you can check out the Patreon down there. You get some exclusive content, so go check that out. And yeah, let's get right into it. The markets last week were a bit hectic. I mean, take a look here at what happened on the S&P 500. You can see we saw a big drop. I don't think that was last week, though. But either way, we saw a big drop to about 3,700, a little bit under that. And ultimately, we recovered. And based on this hourly chart, you can see it was kind of like a V-shaped recovery, right? And if we pull back a bit on the 4-hour, right around 3,700 where we did recover, that is right around this 180 SMA that you can see here on the 4-hour chart, and right around the support of this uptrending channel that we've been talking about in pretty much every video here on the channel. So the fact that we recovered there, that is a very good sign for the bulls. And I mean, you can see clearly what happened last week. We ended up breaking resistance after resistance after resistance. I mean, take a look on the hourly chart. We broke above 3,800, 3,830, 3,840. A big one was 3,860, which we broke out of on Thursday. And of course, Friday, we went up even higher. So yeah, bulls are in charge, and we hit an all-time high. I don't know if I said that already, but all-time high was at 3,894.56, which is putting us right near a big resistance on this hourly chart, which is right around the resistance of the overall channel that you're seeing on the 4-hour chart, the uptrending channel. So in the short term, guys, I don't want to say that we're going to continue going up. That's pretty crazy to say. I think overall we're going to see a pull down. Like I say all the time, if something goes up day after day after day, it's eventually going to see a healthy pull down. So I think if we gap up tomorrow, maybe 3,900, maybe a little bit higher than that, if we're able to gap up out of there, you know, that might be, and the key word here is might be, because nobody knows, but it might be the temporary top before we do see a bit of a sell-off. And where could we sell off to here on the S&P 500 index? I would say anywhere between, I'd put maybe on the lower end 3,800 flat, maybe 3,750, right around the support of this uptrending channel. That is where we could see a bit of a sell-off too. And again, guys, don't panic if the market sells off. It's healthy for it to sell off. You don't want to see something go up and up and up and up. I mean, you can see clearly it's been going up, but we're seeing many sell-offs within the uptrend, and that's just how it goes. So those are some thoughts there, and I'm trying not to get distracted here. There's a bunch of snow. It's snowing like crazy out there, and it's kind of nice. I like the snow. I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what you guys think about the snow down below in the comments, and more importantly about the market. Let me know down below. And by the way, are you guys watching the Super Bowl? I don't even know when I'm gonna release this video, but you're obviously watching it now. If you are watching the Super Bowl, who do you think's going to win, Chiefs or the Bucks? Or if you're already watching this, or rather if you're watching this when the Super Bowl is already over, who won? Let me know in the comments. Drop a comment down below. I would love to know. So let's get into now. I have 12 stocks and one bonus one at the end that I want to talk about today. And stock number 1 is Corsair Gaming, ticker symbol CRSR. You can see here on the 4-hour chart, this is a stock that broke out of a very pivotal resistance this past week. You guys can see it, right? That resistance was right around $42.75. You might as well just call it $43, right around there. And we saw resistance at that point back in the beginning of December, back in the end of December, and in the beginning towards the middle of January. And if you guys can see here, a couple days ago, actually, this was in the end of January, we broke 43 temporarily. We gapped up to about 50 bucks, and we ended up selling right back under 43, thus treating it again as resistance. And this past week, take a look at what happened. We broke 43. Now we're hovering right around where we were a couple days ago. Like I said, when we did break 43, we went to 50, then we gapped back down. So am I rushing into Corsair here? I think there could be some upside, no doubt about it, up to about 48, 49, maybe 50 bucks. But for me to go heavier into it, I would love to see it take out that resistance from the end of January, which again, that is where we struggled before and got hit pretty hard. So I think we could clear this 50 level, but I'd be more comfortable once we do that to add to this. And you could argue that right now it's overbought. So if we get on the flip side, let's say we don't break out of 50, if we pull down to 43, since it is a little bit overbought, you can see the RSI here is almost at 70. So let's say we did pull back a bit. Let's say we went to $43. We held that as support. That could be a decent dip buy for a move back up to 48. I'm all for that, right? You can see, and in fact, now that I'm looking at it, it already did exactly what I just said on Friday. You guys can see we pulled down, we held 42.80, 43 bucks, and we rallied and closed a little bit under 40. Well, we closed at 45.23, but in the aftermarket hours, we closed at a little bit under 46. So it already did this little pullback bounce. So now on second thought, we might just go straight up to 48. So that might be a 5% window. So overall, watch out for Corsair Gaming. I think there's a lot of upside potential and money to be made here within the $40, $50 range. So I'm watching that. Workhorse is another one that I'm watching. I'm already in Workhorse. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but I've been in Workhorse since about $22. I locked in some profits originally, a little bit under 30 bucks. Arguably a little early, but at the time, it seemed like a decent spot to lock in a little bit. But luckily, I let the rest of the position ride out up until this past week where I locked in a little bit of profit again, and now I have what is left of my Workhorse position. And I locked in a lot of profits, so I'm very happy about it. And the rest, I'm letting it ride, and I will maybe add more. It's a big maybe because it's weird when you're in a stock at a low price and it goes up a good amount. You lock in profits, and it starts to go down. It's like the question is, where do you average down? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. And I'm looking at this hourly chart, and you can see this oval tool here. It's circled around this 180 SMA, right around it. That is probably where I would add more Workhorse. If it were to somehow get down to the mid and preferably the low 30s, 30, 31, 32, if we were to get there, that would be a good, healthy drop of about 18, 20% from where we are now. That is where I'd consider it. That is where I'd consider adding more in the low 30s. And quite frankly, I mean, this is kind of overbought. I mean, it's seen such a big rally in the past couple of weeks. It's really just been 2 weeks pretty much. It's gone from 23 to 43. So yeah, this level right here, even on the 4 hour, you can see it. It's right around the 50 SMA 4 hour. If we pull down to this point, that is where I might add some money. And now looking at this 4 hour chart, or more money rather, right? But looking at this 4 hour, if we collapse under 33, 34, 32, and even broke under 30, we might be going $28, which, gosh, guys, if that were to happen, which you can see here, clearly 28 was a big previous resistance. If we somehow got there, held it as a new support, I would for sure be adding more money to Workhorse in the high 20s, no doubt about it. So yeah, I'm just playing this one by ear. I'm already in it, and I'm willing to add more at a lower price and average up, because my average is 22 or something like that. So yeah, I'd like to average up a little bit. If we get to 28, I think, or even 30, 32, I think that could be a decent spot on Workhorse. And here I'm not really forcing it, honestly. $40, I feel like if I were not in Workhorse and looking to get in, I think 40 is a bit of a chase. Don't FOMO, guys, but that's just my opinion. Do whatever you want. As always, this is not financial advice. You must always do your own research and your own due diligence. So stock number 3 is Virgin Galactic, which I'm also in. And based on this chart, I'll be honest, I wouldn't necessarily chase this one either. I really wouldn't. I mean, it's gone up a ton from 27 to 62. Now it's down to 54. So let me rephrase that. You know, if it was at 63, I wouldn't chase it. But now that it's actually getting back to the mid 50s, low 50s, especially if it gets high 40s, hey, maybe at that point, it's not a chase anymore. It's a simple pullback, and we could play that on a move maybe back up to the mid 50s, high 50s. So at this point, again, I'm already in Virgin Galactic. I've been in since $18, a long-term position, and I've traded it in and out. Gosh, I don't even know how many times since I, created that long-term position. So I've made some money here on Virgin Galactic. I believe in the story long-term, and in the short term, it's a money maker. That is if you can read the technicals correctly. And what I'm telling you here is, like I said, we could hover around 54 and maybe gap out to the low 60s tomorrow. That's possible, but I would like to see an even further pull down, and that is where I'm going to strike as a day trader, swing trader, maybe at 48, $50 flat. So I'm watching Virgin Galactic here, and I'd like it even lower, but with everything going on, with all the momentum they have right now, I don't know how much lower this could go. If anything, it might be going higher because they have their first test window for the test flight that got aborted a month and a half, 2 months ago. They have that starting on the 13th or the 14th of February. I believe it's the 13th. So there's a lot of exciting things going on right now with Virgin Galactic that unless something catastrophic happens in the short term leading into that event, I think there is a little bit more upside. Hey, call me crazy, but that is what I think. So that is Virgin Galactic, SPCE. Bitcoin right now is very worth mentioning here in today's video. Bitcoin, let me take a look at my Coinbase. Right now, it is at 38,450. So $38,450 per Bitcoin. And shameless plug here, if you guys do want 10 free dollars of Bitcoin, why not? Go check out my Coinbase link down below. We each get $10 of Bitcoin. If you, I think, transact like $100 on there, go check the link out. It'll tell you more. It'll tell you more details. But Bitcoin right now, it went from 30,000, 31,000 a couple weeks ago. And do you guys remember? I'm not sure how many of you do, but we talked about when Bitcoin was at 30,000, 32. I was like, hey guys, this could be the temporary bottom before we rally back up. And I was putting my money where my mouth was. I was buying Bitcoin when it was 30,000, 31, 32, and now it's sitting handsomely at 38,400. So how could we trade this in the stock market other than obviously going down below, using the Coinbase link, and obviously buying it there? How else could we trade it? We could play GBTC, which is the Bitcoin Trust. And if you guys watch CNBC, or if you're in tune with Bitcoin at all, you probably know all about the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And this went from $48 back when Bitcoin was what, 40K, 42, whatever it got to. From $48, it went down to $28. It dropped a lot more than Bitcoin itself, and that's how you have to realize, these they don't move in perfect unison, but it dropped about 40%. And GBTC now, it's since recovered from 29 up to about 40. Dropped back last week to about 32, and now it's hovering at about $38. So the question here is, how is Bitcoin going to do? Because although they don't move perfectly in unison, they overall do move in the same direction. So I think if GBTC could take out $39, that's a big resistance coming up. Bitcoin, let's say, cracks 39K, 40K, shows some momentum, whatever it may be. I think GBTC has a big week ahead of itself. And the next couple of weeks could be great, especially if Bitcoin takes out the old high, which let me just get the exact number. I think it's 42,000. What is it? 44,000? I don't think it was 44,000. But if Bitcoin goes, it's a little bit under 42,000. If Bitcoin breaks 42K, we go to 45K, GBTC will be exploding. So that is one to watch for sure. Another Bitcoin-oriented play, which I made a video on, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago, is Mara, ticker symbol MARA. This is Marathon Patent Group. This is actually a Bitcoin crypto mining company. If you guys recall, I made a video back when it dropped. It was down at about $15-16. I actually picked up some shares that day, made some money. I sold it a bit too early. I forget, where did I sell? I don't even remember, but I did not sell at 22, 23, 24. I could tell you that. It was probably like $20 or maybe even under that. But either way, I played Mara. We called it out. It rebounded. I'm sure a lot of you guys made some money there as well, which I'm happy if you guys did do that. And now I think there could be even more upside since we made a bit of a recovery. We actually broke the 50 SMA. We double bottomed here at about $16. We broke out of that. And now we're forming a little wedge. Can you see it on this 20-day chart? Let me show you guys here. Can you see this? We have a bit of resistance. Actually, this is kind of an ascending triangle in a way. We have a bit of resistance at about $25. We hit resistance there on the 28th, 29th of January. Same with the beginning of February, and we're uptrending into that 25 resistance. So I think overall we could squeeze out of there. The ascending triangle might play out, and then from there, if Bitcoin goes up 42, 45K, who knows, hypothetically, right? If that were to happen, Mara is going to be going to the moon, man, going to the moon. And not literally, it's not going to be like $100 per share, but it's gonna probably test those highs. Let's put it that way. It might test those highs at about $29, $30. At least I wouldn't be surprised if it were to test those highs. And no, I did not mean to rhyme right there, but hey, it just came naturally. So the next one here is Twitter, and we have some earnings coming up this week. I'm not sure if you guys know, but we have Twitter this week, ticker symbol TWTR. This is a company that it's been in the spotlight, and gosh, now that I'm looking at it, I missed the move. Crap, I'm an idiot. The thing about having a YouTube channel, guys, is if you call out so many stocks, you're going to miss the move. But we did call this out. I didn't get the move. I missed the move, but I'm sure some of you guys caught it. But we saw a couple weeks ago as Trump was ending his term, right? Got kicked off of Twitter. All that stuff went down. We saw Twitter go down a ton, the stock that is. It went down from 55 to about 45. And I was saying, guys, I'm not for sure, I'm not certain, but I think Twitter is obviously here to stay. It's going to blow over. Don't freak out. It dropped 20% pretty dang quickly, and I was telling people not to freak out. It's okay. I think it's going to rebound, and fast forward a little bit, it did, and it actually hit an all-time high, and I'm pretty mad looking at this because I completely miss the boat. But again, if you're a YouTuber, which I doubt any of you guys are, but if some of you are, let me know in the comments. That'd be pretty cool. But if you're a YouTuber and you make videos about stocks talking about hundreds, guys, if you saw my iPad right now, I have so many notes from stocks. It's just ridiculous. You're going to miss moves. There's no way you could catch every move. But if somebody out there caught it, I'm very happy about that. And I almost forgot to mention, Twitter has earnings coming up on the 9th here of this month, which is in 2 days from now, so on Tuesday. So watch out for Twitter there, and I'm probably not going to chase it here, but if we see any sort of pull down, we could get maybe a dip buy on Twitter. So the next one reporting, which completely saved my life when I was in college, this is something great. It is Chegg, ticker symbol CHGG. They overall, when we're looking at this this pattern, very, very strong breakout pattern here. We were potentially in a head and shoulder a couple weeks ago. Left shoulder here, the head, the right shoulder right here. And the fact that we broke $90, 88, $90, that pretty much completely destroyed the idea of the head and shoulder. And it went from maybe the right shoulder forming and, Chegg going down from $88 to $70. It went from that happening to, okay, now Chegg's breaking out. We might be going from $88, $90 to wherever it decides to go. And you can see here, we broke 90, we went to 104, we pulled down recently, which this would have been a great time. I missed this as well. This would have been a great time to look at it. If I saw this, I probably would have picked up some shares at about 90, 92 on this retest of the old resistance as support. And you can see what happened after that. It went from $92. It filled the gap to about 102, 103, and that's where we are right now. So the question is, what are they going to report? Earnings, they are coming out tomorrow, Monday, the 8th of February. So, and let me see, is that pre-market? No, it's aftermarket. So tomorrow's going to be interesting. Is this stock going to rally into the earnings report? That could happen. If it breaks that 104, 105 all-time high level, it could go 110. That's very possible. I mean, we could see even a pullback if they have a bad earnings report. And me personally, guys, I don't like buying before earnings, so I'm most likely going to wait. I'm for sure going to wait. I'm not going to gamble on this one before earnings. I'm definitely going to wait until after they report. Same with Twitter, to see what the price action's looking like, EPS, revenue, guidance, all that good stuff. And then I'll see, okay, can I get a move here? Maybe not. Maybe I should stay away from it, and so forth. So that's Chegg, ticker symbol CHGG. Uber is another one, ticker symbol UBER, which is at a very similar spot to Chegg. It is right near an all-time high at about $60. It had a bit of wow, that's a bigger pull down than I thought would happen. But wow, Uber last week was in a bear market, or was it the week before? Either way, it went from $60 to $46. That was a drop of over 20%. And that dip was quickly bought. You can see very nice V-shaped recovery there for Uber, and we filled the gap pretty much all the way to that all-time high at about $60. We closed at 58.58 on the dot here on Friday. So what's going to happen with their earnings? They're reporting on the 10th, so that's what? On Wednesday. So we have a bit of time. We have a bit of time to see, okay, what are investors, traders, what's their reaction, or what's their rather anticipation looking like for their for the Uber earnings. So we'll see. If they could break out of $60, we might see a bit of a short-term spike to 62, 63, who knows. But if we see a big rejection at 60, I'd be pretty careful with this one. And overall, I really wouldn't chase it. I'd probably just treat it more as an in-and-out day trade type of move on any volatility that we see heading into the earnings and even after the earnings report, which again is here on the 10th, which is on Wednesday of this week. So yeah, watch out for Uber, ticker symbol UBER. Cisco is another one, CSCO. They also report this week, and this stock is absolutely taking off. It actually, I'm not sure if that's an all-time high. Let me double check, but it hit a high of $49.95. Yeah, it's most likely an all-time high, I'm assuming. Actually, no, it's not, guys. I'm wrong. I'm really wrong on that, actually. The all-time high on Cisco was 58 back in July of 2019. So this is actually a pretty good sign overall, and I'm glad that I actually looked at this 3-year chart, because what this is telling me is Cisco's actually overall, I mean, still beaten down a bit. From $58, it went to $32. That was the low back, I'm assuming in March, right? It rallied off that, it hit 48, and it went actually all the way back down to 35, almost took those lows out. That was actually back in the beginning of November, we hit about 35. Now we're back at 48, so this is a big resistance on Cisco, and they're reporting earnings on, let me double check the day here. It's this week for sure. I think it's Wednesday. No, it's actually on Tuesday. So they're reporting, and I think if Cisco could break out of $49. That was a resistance back in 2018, back in 19, pretty much all of 20, or not all of 2019, but a good amount of 2019 heading into 2020, and a lot of 2020 we saw resistance at 48, 49, and up until right now in 2021. So I think there could be a big explosion on Cisco out of $50, 48, 49 in general. We could be making a move back into the mid 50s, and of course, that's heavily reliant on this earnings report and the guidance. I mean, if we get some good earnings, some solid guidance, this could easily break out. And the stock is already breaking out, so it seems like people are excited about this report. And I think there was some unusual options activity. We'll take a look at that some other time. But overall, Cisco is one worth watching. NNDM is another one. Nano Dimension. This is one that we actually talked about on Friday. Both this and the next one we talked about on Friday. But I want to recap some thoughts there. You guys can see NNDM, and we might as well just pull up the other stock and do the analysis here simultaneously, if I could talk. Geez. NBNGO, both of these stocks are in a pretty much identical pattern. They're in a wedge pattern. They're making lower highs, but at the same time, they're making higher lows. Take a look at BNGO. It's doing that. And same thing here with Nano Dimension. Lower highs, higher lows. So I want to see this week what direction we end up picking. Do we break out of the wedge? Do we take out, for NNDM, let's say, do we take out $15, $15.50, 16? That would be great. Or do we end up dumping below $14.50, $14, which wouldn't be so great? And when it comes to BNGO, this one, is it going to break 12, 12.50, 13, or is it going to fail? Is it going to buckle and fold under pressure and go down to, what, 10, under 10, $9? What is going to happen? So that is what I'm looking for these two. Not too crazy of an analysis, but, I'm just waiting for the breakout or the breakdown or the break under, whatever you want to call it, guys. I think I just made my own trading term there. But either way, that's BNGO. NNDM. Apple is the last one here, AAPL, which out of all the tech names, I mean, I know I own a lot of the tech names, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. I recently sold Facebook. I own Apple, so I own a lot of these names. Out of all these, when it comes to a swing trade, I like Apple a lot here. I mean, we've seen some nice consolidation here. 131, 130, 132. Now we actually closed the week above 136, almost to 137. So this next week is going to be big because we're going to test 138. If you guys remember, that was a resistance back in the beginning of September, as well as the end of December. It was the all-time high. So I think it is imperative for Apple, if it breaks 138, or rather, it's imperative for it to break 138. And from there, we might be seeing a test into the 140s, mid 140s. So that's really what I'm looking for this week. That's simple. I mean, you can see right around 138. That's a big resistance. That's that's actually right where the 50 SMA on this 4-hour chart is. So I honestly see a decent gap up coming here on Apple of about 4 or 5%. That's definitely possible here. So watch out for that. Ticker symbol AAPL. And the bonus one, if you guys stuck till the end, and by the way, if you stuck till the end, drop a comment down below and say stuck till the end. I really appreciate that. As always, guys, let me know down below. The bonus one here is CRM, also known as Salesforce. And this is a stock that it's been a little under the radar. It's by no means a sleeper company that nobody knows about. A lot of people know about Salesforce, but it went down a good chunk recently while all the other stocks out there, for the most part, were crushing it in the markets. I mean, CRM went 264 down to about 210. That was a drop of about 20%. So it was in a bear market. And I told you guys, and you can see based on my analysis here, if it ends up taking out 230, that was a big old support from back in September, back in November, right? If it broke that out or broke out of that, that would be a big sign that it wants to go even higher and maybe test the resistance of this wedge in the 250s, maybe even higher. So we broke out of 230, which, mind you, that was also a resistance all of 2021 for the most part, and the end of 2020 as well. So the fact that we broke out, that's very good, and I think there could be more upside here on CRM. And they also report earnings in February, but later on. It's actually in about 3 weeks from now. So that's on the 25th if you guys are interested. And that's it. Those are 13 stocks, 12 and plus one, the bonus one, that I'm looking to buy and watching for this week. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, what are you doing this week? What is your watch list? Drop that down below in the comments. And if you guys enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. Let's try to get this to 400 likes. Maybe, just maybe, subscribe to the channel as well. And check out all the free links down below. If you want some free money, you can get 2 free stocks from WeBull. Those are valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100 into that account using my link, and we each get 2 free stocks. And you could also get $30 from M1 Finance by simply opening up an account and depositing any amount of money using that link down below, and you get $30. Same with me. And again, these are all great ways to support the channel. Same with the Patreon if you guys want exclusive content. And another way to support me and the channel, the Patreon is also linked down below. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.